Amen. I don't want to get into calling names, but we're praying for everybody because people have got procedures that they're going to have. People are recovering from being sick. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Amen. And so we want to pray, amen, for everybody. Amen. Anybody, y'all hot?
Yes.
Y'all hot? Amen. No? Are y'all warm? Amen. So some hot and some warm. Let's find a middle ground. Amen. Amen. Let's find a middle ground. Now, I don't know if y'all get sleepy, I'm going to cut the air off, make y'all, everybody sweat. Amen. Amen. I want to go to Daniel chapter number 3. Daniel chapter number 3. I have been in this big perception piece, and I'm still in that vein, and I'm going to be in that vein for a while because now that I've kind of grabbed a hold of it, I can see it in almost everything. I'm in this perception piece. But I want to go to Daniel chapter number 3. If you are on social media and you are on my Facebook page, y'all go share this video. Let's make it worldwide. Amen. If you are on social media, go on Facebook and share this video. Those of you that are watching me by Facebook Live, y'all please share the video, share it, share it. I normally don't ask people that because I forget. Amen. But I'm trying to do better. Amen. So y'all share the video, share it. Daniel chapter number 3. I want to look at an old story, but there are a few principles in this. So if you don't get an individual word this morning of prophecy or anything like that, I want to use this text, amen, to make an announcement, amen. And I pray that my 20-member church, amen, I think the count is about 52 in the room, but if I can get a 20-member church to just help me tear the carpet up today, amen. I want to make an announcement, and the 20-member church, they're going to hear me, amen. The rest of y'all, I pray you catch up, amen. But I believe God's going to bless us. Daniel chapter 3, hey, Shan, you finna trip. I'm going to read this in the NIV, amen. Amen. Daniel chapter 3, verse 26, amen. Grateful to see all of y'all, amen. I see Sister Nicole brought a visitor. Can somebody tell me his name? Magic. Amen. Y'all help me celebrate Brother Magic. Amen. Being with us this morning. Amen. I'm looking around the room. I don't think I see any more visitors. Amen. The rest of y'all family. Amen. I'm good, man. I'm going to go to God right there. Amen. Daniel chapter number 3. Verse 26 in the NIV. Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out. That's a prophecy. Somebody shout, come out, come out. Come out, come here. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire. Touch somebody, tell them it's some stuff you getting ready to come out of. That's not my sermon. I wanted to just drop that. And the satraps and the prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. Uh-oh, Lord Jesus. I'm not. Do me a favor. Look at somebody and tell them what God's about to bring you out of. You're getting ready to draw an audience. They saw. Try not to run, Kareem. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair on their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Somebody shout, no residue. Look at one more person and tell them, I've been through hell, but I came out. Tell them, I don't have no residue. That's how you know it was God. You can go through and come out and don't even look like what you just survived. Woo! Verse 28, then Nebuchadnezzar says, praise be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any God except their own God. Therefore, I decree, now this is Nebuchadnezzar talking. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces, and their houses be turned into piles of rubber, for no other God, lowercase G-O-D, can save in this way. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Can you make an announcement to your neighbor and say, neighbor? Come on, say it loud like you're Baptist. Look at somebody, tell them, neighbor, after this, you won't see me the same. I need you to look at somebody else and tell them, after I come out of this right here, come on, tell them this right here, tell them you won't see me the same. If you believe it, come on, clap your hands and bless you. You may be seated in the presence of our God. Thank all of you for honoring our request that we do not use cell phones for social media unless you're sharing the video. If you're recording, that's fine. But don't be playing games and stuff, amen, on your phone while I'm preaching, amen. Amen. After this, you won't see me the same. Brothers and sisters, I think it is important that we come to a real mental cognitive understanding of the truth that all of us at some place in life will face tough situations. The difference in success and failure, brothers and sisters, is the way we see it. So we're all going to go through some stuff. But what makes the difference in what I'm going through is my perception of what I'm going through. So if you view it as a means to grow and develop, you will gain great success. But if you get bitter and resentful and complain, then you will wallow in your failure. A guy by the name of Viktor Frankl says, and I quote, he was a Jewish psychiatrist who spent 3 years during World War II living under unspeakable circumstances in several of the most notorious Nazi concentration camps. While in prison, Frankl realized that he had one single freedom left, and that is this, and I pray that 5 of y'all will praise right here. He had the power to determine his response to the horror that was going on around him. So it doesn't matter what you're going through, you have the ability to be free even when you're bound.
Come on, Pastor.
You can be bound in a particular place. You don't like your job. You don't like your circumstances.
Come on, Pastor.
I'm finna get in trouble. You don't really like your marriage. You can be bound in a place, in a circumstance, in a space, but still have a freedom. Somebody shout, what is the freedom?
What is the freedom?
It is the ability to use your mind.
All right.
So what Frankl says is the one freedom he had left, he had the freedom to choose to imagine. So what he did in the most horrific situation, he imagined his wife and the prospect of seeing her again. He put his wife in his mind, and then not only his wife, he then imagined himself teaching students after the war about lessons that he learned. So Frankl survived and went on to chronicle the experiences and the wisdom he had drawn from them. He says, and I quote, a human being is a deciding being. That's what he wrote in his book in 1946 called Man's Search for Meaning. It sold over more than 10 million copies. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. You missed it. I'll try it again. He said, between stimulus and response, there is a space in between that gives me the power to choose my reaction. He says that in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So what he's saying is that anytime there is something going on in your life, your brain releases a stimulus. Now, the stimulus is going to predicate what you do, which means you got a space between an initial situation started and what you do based on what you see. And what you do, because there is a space, a moment, watch this, I'm going to cuss, to make a decision. I know that's a bad word for some of y'all because you are so used to reacting out of your flesh. You don't maximize moments to make sure your response is still godly. So you lie saying this is just who I am. It's not who you are. Who you are a human being. But if you are saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled, you are full of the Holy Ghost. Which means in the space between stimulus and response, you should listen and be sensitive to the prompting of the Holy Spirit to tell you what to do. You cannot tell me that you saved and Holy Ghost filled and you cuss everybody out. All the time. Somebody shout, maximize the moment.
Maximize.
So in the context of perception, we have to know that human perception and the ramifications of that perception are important as well as life-changing, because all of our perception can be subjected to interpretation. So when it comes to perception, seeing, feeling, hearing, sensing things, there is no such thing as objectivity. Because humans evolved to make sense out of things, which means that every time a stimulus comes to us, our brain does the efficient thing. What it does is your brain responds based on past experiences. The reason why some of you can't see past doing anything from the moment you are normally used to doing it, that's why you can't change. What are you saying? I'm saying that until you change your thinking pattern.
Come on, Pastor.
Every time you face a situation, you are going to respond to the situation the same way you responded the last time. Now, let me tell you why that's a problem. Because what it shows is a lack of maturity. If you still walking around talking about, I didn't mean to say that, they just said that in my mouth. What it says is you have an inability to control that member in your mouth that we call the tongue. Here is why. Because you let your mouth talk faster than your brain can process. I know you didn't like that Jimmy Crack corn, and I don't care. You got to realize the Bible says that the tongue is the most unruly thing in your body, which says that what I need God to do, I need God to control my mind. Because if he controls my mind, he'll control my mouth, because the Holy Ghost will speak loud enough to say, shut up.
Come on, Jackson. Come on, Jackson.
And for some of us, the reason why things in our lives can't change, vis-a-vis, you're constantly at odds with people at your job, or you're always threatening to get fired, or you're always late, or you're always getting rolled up in school, or you're always tardy to the party, or because you got a mind problem, because you think that the way you are is who you are, and it's not. It is the devil's way of keeping you in a cycle. And if he keeps your mind in a cycle, you will never come out. So you perpetuate the same behavior over and over and over. And then watch this. Come first of the year, you're going to be shouting, talking about, I'm coming out, I'm changing my life, I ain't going to do the same thing. And it came out your mouth, but it was never processed in your mind. So your mind never changed, and your language never changed, because a whole lot of us can be happy when situations are not happening in our lives. But when situations come up, how do you respond? Quiet, church, I see. We've got to understand that the brain continually redefines our normality, because your mind is being shaped literally as a consequence of trial or error. So the brain did not evolve to see the world the way it really is. We cannot. We can't help but to see things according to our history, our own history, and the history of our ancestors, because we are defined, I'm going to say a big word, by ecology. which suggests, Sean, that I am a product of my surroundings. So the reason why you cuss so much because your mama cuss, your daddy cuss, and you got it vicariously. The reason why you got an attitude because your mama walked around angry, mad at the world. Because your daddy was a thug and he walked around angry, so you don't know how to smile because you got it vicariously. See how some of y'all looking? That's why some of y'all got that little smug look on your face, like I can't believe he talking about me. I'm talking about you, your mama, your daddy, and your kids.
Come on, Jackson. Come on.
Because all of us are jacked up because of where we came from.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to admit it, but here's what I know about myself. I pastor are hurting people. I pastor of people who I got to lead out of dysfunction. Why? Because as God leads me out of dysfunction, he gives me the wisdom to have empathy, to lead you out of what you're going. Because I know you come in here and smile and shout, but you're still struggling in your mind.
Come on, Pastor.
You can't fool me. I got the Holy Ghost for real. I know that there are some things going on. I promise you, I can pinpoint your issues right now because I can see in the spirit that some of us are trying to shout through stuff that your mind won't let you free of. But I came to preach and prophesy today to tell 20 of y'all the devil has got to get off of your mind. But in order for him to get off your mind, you got to let your history go. You need God to deprogram you so you can get all of the toxins and all of the stuff out of your mind that you saw. Wait a minute. If your daddy was a Rolling Stone, you got to learn how to break generational curses. If you saw all type of homosexuality and lesbianism because somebody touched you and they took your innocence and they spiraled you into a mentality, because there are some of us that deal with demons that we didn't invite into our space. Somebody came in and they used their wickedness to rob us of our innocence. But I came today to tell you, you don't have to let the devil keep you in bondage when you serve a God that is giving you the power to get free. And in order for you to get free, you got to come out head first. I need 20 people to help a brother preach and tap your neighbor and say, God's about to change your mind.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
So let me dig a little deeper. Because we are a product of our environment. So it's not our biology that is our DNA. It is not our biology, not our DNA that makes us. It is our history, our interactions. That's what bothers. Let me give you an example. I wrote this down because it was on my mind. I used to spend the summer at my cousin's house. Evangelist Shikashua Samples. I used to spend the summer at her house every summer. I used to always ask my mama, I want to go over there because I used to have fun over there with Charles. I love Charles. I love Kosh, but I love Charles. Because Charles would let me do whatever I wanted to do. Now, if I went too far, he pulled me back. But he kind of let me, evolve as a man. I spent all my life around women. He was the only man coming up besides my grandfather that I would spend time with. The only thing is, you hang with granddaddy. Granddaddy would talk too old. Don't put the cart before the horse. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I loved it, but I couldn't really relate. So I got to hang with Charles. Charles at that time, he was a little thuggish. He was a little, he kind of let me do what I wanted to do, but he would tell me, you can't always do what you see. Anyway, let me get to my story. Gosh, love her to death. But she had this proclivity to only make beans. Everything. You would come in, me, Tahars, Terrell, Tamoy, we would go to the park, and my brother Elijah, we would go play basketball. And we would come back from playing basketball, and we walk in and be, that's them beans, man. She making them beans. I grew up with the beans so much. I hate beans. Hate them. Did you hear what I said? I know hate is a strong word. Hate. Thank God beans don't have a soul. It won't send me to hell. I hate beans. Now, begins to get under your skin.
Come on, Pastor.
So whenever you are exposed to a continual cycle of the same thing, what really happens in the realm of perception is what I do with the information. Now, for me, eating the beans, it started to make me nauseous. Not because of the beans, because of the cycle.
That's right.
Come on, Pastor.
I started to get sick, not of the food, but of the cycle that the food produced. Y'all don't know how to receive a real word, because some of you, what you're really agitated about is because you've been going year after year after year after year, seeing the same thing, one after the other, and it starts to look alike. Now you're trying to figure out, Lord, why do I keep going through the same thing? It seemed like in 2017, I was having the same problems. I shouted at the beginning of 2018, only to discover by the summer of 2018, the same problem came back up. And so I went through the rest of 2018 dealing with the same stuff. And when 2019 came, I said, devil, you a liar. I threw it over my back. I ran around the church. I jumped up and down. I did all kind of acrobatics. But I discovered that by the time May showed up of 2019, the same thing showed back up. Pastor, can you tell me what the problem is? Because the devil is on assignment. No, he not. Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is you went through the same thing in 2017, 2018, and 2019 because God was trying to show you that the problem is your mind. It ain't your money. It ain't your job. It ain't your boss. It is your thinking pattern. God is trying to show you that he's trying to change the distortion in your mind. Because if your mind changes, then your habits will change. If your mind changes, your perception will change. If your perception changes, everything you go through, you will go through it, but see it differently. I need y'all to help me. Touch somebody, tell them God's about to open your spiritual eyes. I said, tell somebody God's about to open your spiritual eyes. So the greatest issue that we have is that we don't perceive our trials correctly. And so by way of interpretation, the information that we are receiving is not doing in our lives what God has purposed, because you have mismanaged the information that God is trying to release. Now you say, Pastor, how does that equate with Scripture? Well, James says you got to count it all joy when you fall. I'm not knowing y'all yet. When you fall into diverse temptation, watch this. Knowing that the testing, approving of your faith works patience, which means that at every venture, Nicole, at every turn, at every place of turbulence, God is showing you stuff, not so you can get hung up in what you see, but so that God can use what you see as a marker to change your mental interpretation. Because you think your trials come to kill you, and your trials come to make you stronger. Okay, 20 minute church, push me right here. How many of y'all can testify that I learned more lessons about God while I was going through certain situations, because God used my situation to retrain my mind? Because in my environment, I didn't know that God had the ability to do the stuff I've seen him do. But I need y'all to help me testify. Millions didn't make it, but I'm one of the ones that did. And the only reason why I made it is because God changed my perception.
Amen, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
He used the testing of my faith to develop me. He used the testing of my faith to grow me in areas of my life that are not as strong as they need to be, but God is working on me. Somebody shout, work on me, Lord. All right, then on the other side of that, God will use your story. I'm getting to the text. God will use your story, his story, history, his story. You thought that your life was about you. No, it is his story. Now, wait a minute. God will use your story, your history, ministry to get a message to somebody else, to reveal to them that the God that you serve is able. I just need my 20-member church. I make number 21 that can help me testify. You serve an able God. Open your mouth and shout, He is able. God will use any situation in your personal life to change the perception of someone else to the God that you serve. So where there is no evolving perception, there is no breakthrough. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down, because when God gave it to me, I fell out the chair. I said, where there is no evolving perception, there is no breakthrough. What do you mean? In order to get a true breakthrough, it's got to happen in a mind shift, which means what God has got to do, He's got to take your issue, your circumstance, your trial and your test, to get a message to somebody else by changing your personal mind. Now what will happen is, here's your test. 20-member church, holler at your boy. Here is your test. God will use a circumstance where you previously failed. Bring that test all the way around. Now when an enemy comes to agitate you, now the last time you failed, you cussed them out. Now they came right back full circle. But because your response was different, they had to come back and say, you didn't change. Because wherever there is an evolving mentality, wherever there is a mind shift, there is a breakthrough. Touch somebody, tell them God's about to give me a mental shift. You didn't tell nobody. Look at somebody. Tell them God's about to give you a mental shift. He's about to change. Is this too heavy for y'all? Come on, y'all, my church. I know y'all smart. God's about to give you a mental shift. He's about to change your mentality so you can be going through hell, but hell ain't going through you, because you know that you serve a God that will give you peace. Oh, Jesus. He'll give you peace. I'm trying not to run out of church. I said He'll give you peace that surpasses all understanding. The world can be going to hell in a handbasket, but I'm not moved, because I know my God can handle whatever I see.
Amen, Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
I got 13 minutes.
Come on, Pastor.
I'm getting up out of here. The text reveals this mental issue because whenever we refuse to compromise our standards and jeopardize our faith in God, God will use what you're going through to help somebody else.
Amen.
Anytime you refuse to follow the perceptions and the mindset of the crowd and live a life submitted to God, there is always going to be conflict.
Amen, Pastor.
Brothers and sisters, we as people of God have to be willing to hold fast to who we are amidst a people who will go along to get along. We have to be willing, watch this y'all, to make waves in the culture, to make changes in the perception of the world and the culture around us. Let me pause parenthetically and give a word to some of y'all who trying to fit in. God can never bless you when you fit in with everybody else. God is looking for somebody that will be a marker.
Come on, Pastor.
God, you know what? I want to redefine what we call real church. Because if all we do is shout but never change, then we're still blending in with the church culture.
Amen, Pastor.
I don't hear what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying. I know you don't get mad and I don't care. That's why I'm trying to raise up a generation of people that I tell our young people. I think me and Mario was having this conversation. I said, son, if you take what you make on your job and you save this amount and keep this amount, by the end of a year, you should have this amount. What do you say? I'm trying to raise up a generation that's not living from paycheck to paycheck. You saw your mama do it. You saw your daddy do it. show you. You can be a millionaire before you're 30, and you don't even have to work that hard. All you gotta do is save and budget and use wisdom. Y'all don't like this kind of preacher. I'm not trying to raise up a churchy crowd that all we know how to do is dance, but we broke. At least if I'm a shout, I need millions in the bank. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. I said I'm a shout because I got millions. Wait a minute. I'm finna cuss one more time. Y'all pray. Charles, pray for me. I'm finna cuss. Not only do I have millions, I got good credit.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry I cuss, you know. I don't care nothing about my credit. Don't let your mama and them put bills in your name and you ain't 16.
Amen, Pastor.
Tell your neighbor, break a cycle, break a cycle. Hey, listen. When we deal with the background of this text, I got 9 minutes, I gotta go. When we deal with the background of this text, here's what you discover. Nebuchadnezzar is faced with a problem because he has a vast empire that's filled with different cultures, languages, people groups, nationalities from Babylon to Egypt, and he's trying to unify them so that they can function as one cohesive unit. So what he does, he comes up with a state religion. And he wants the people to unify under this heading of one religion that he himself would be the head of, because man are always trying to build a monument to themselves. That's what's wrong with that orange guy that's in Washington.
Yeah, the orange one. The orange one? Yeah, the orange one.
Man is always trying to build monuments to himself. Now, I can say this, I really don't want to touch it, but I'm going to say this, and me and Pastor Webb will shout, you got to watch that even in the church, because some people will build buildings as monuments to their own ego.
Amen.
You only got, I got a good 50-member church.
Yeah.
It would make no literal sense to go build a massive construction, a big dome, just to say, we building a new building. For what?
Yeah, that's right, Pastor.
Wisdom says,
I
ain't building nothing until I pack this out. Now, not only that, I gotta pack this out, go to 3 services and pack them out.
Amen, Pastor. Come on, Jackson.
Because I'm not looking to build a monument to my ego. I'm trying to build lives for the kingdom.
Amen. Come on, Pastor.
Nebuchadnezzar builds this golden image. I gotta hurry. He builds this image and he builds this golden image because he had a dream years before. So he set it up and tells everyone, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, everyone is to bow and worship the image that I have set up. So this would cause true believers in God a real test, because the issue is, no matter whether it's life or death, if I serve God, I'm not going to comply with anything that is outside of the standard of God.
Amen.
That's right. Amen.
I know you're saying, wait a minute, Pastor. Right about that, you normally say the Bible says, obey those that have the rule over you. Yes, but I never have to follow anybody that's compromising my Christian values.
That's right. Amen.
Come on,
I
Pastor.
really don't want to touch this either, but if I had time, I would show you. That's why you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that don't serve the God that you serve. Because sometimes they can mess around and try to make you compromise your Christian values. Now, you can go to the club if you want to go to the club, but I ain't going to the club because you go to the club. I'm not getting drunk on Saturday night and then staying at home because you want to lay between my legs and then I miss the presence of God. The devil is a liar.
Come on, Jackson.
And I'm just saying that if you don't want them issues, you probably want to make sure you date somebody that's going in the same direction.
Come on, Jackson.
All right. I got a word for my young people. Don't date nobody that can't hold out.
All right.
Amen.
That if you tell them this is on lock until I get married and they can't respect your decision, maybe they are not for you.
Amen, Pastor.
Boy, y'all don't like this kind of teaching. Because if I gotta compromise who I am so that you can get your rocks off, just so you can say, you know I love you. If you love me enough to wait.
Already, Pastor.
And I'm not talking about wait 6 months.
Already, Pastor.
Wait till we get out of college. Oh, they didn't like it. Pastor, I'm in high school. That's you. You gonna mess around, come up pregnant.
Come on,
You
Pastor.
know, kissing gets you pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm lying, I just made that up, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Somebody shout, I will not comply.
I will not comply.
Oh, man, I got 6 minutes and I got 3 points. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Here's point number 1. Shout right here with me, Deacon and Shan. Your promotion can breed jealousy.
Absolutely.
Notice the text, y'all. I might go over time. Y'all pray for me. Look at the text. The text, verses 8 through 11. The text shows us these astrologers who are of Babylonian nationality. They go to the king and they say, hey, these Jews that you promoted, these Jews, these foreigners, these people that are not of Babylonian descent, king, that you promoted, they're not complying with the rules that you set up.
That's right.
Now, the underlying theme psychologically is that they are jealous, and their jealousy fueled their exposing the Hebrew boys. They are upset with the fact that the king promoted Jews who are not of his own bloodline. They are mad because you let these people who are not of our blood come in and you promoted them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And brothers and sisters, I got a word for you. There's always a reason that people are looking at you.
Always.
People are looking at you not just for their betterment, but for your downfall.
Right.
Amen.
Now, if I was a betting man, I would bet that they are mad because of the favor that was on the Hebrew boys. And see, the problem, I'm finna free 10 of y'all. The problem with jealousy is that it masks other feelings and attitudes that are even more hurtful to us and those close to us. Because its intensity is often shielded by deep-seated insecurity and shame on the person that's jealous of you.
Amen.
Which means they're not jealous of you because of what you have. They are jealous of you because of what they don't have.
Amen, Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
The only reason why people have a focus that is outside of them is because it's easier for me to say, I don't like the Gray family, than it is for me to look at the dysfunction that's going on in my own life. That's why some of y'all sitting there looking at me like a bump on the log, because you don't want to admit the reason why some of us have issues is not because of what happened on the outside of us. It is because we have the inability to deal with our own personal issues.
Come on, Pastor.
I'm mad at you because I'm mad at me.
Amen, Pastor.
And what I believe is that what lies at the heart of jealousy very often, watch this, y'all, it isn't the threat itself, but a drive we have within us to torment ourselves and berate ourselves and be self-critical. So the issue of jealousy is a perceived threat from somebody else. But the threat is because of what I'm not.
That's good.
So anybody that can dress better than me, I start trying to pick through what's wrong with them. Oh, you know them shoes don't go with that top. You know that don't match. Them colors doing too much. The reason why we can talk about other people is because the real issue is I'm angry within myself. But then watch this. I have noticed these 4 years, Pastor Webb, that when people struggle with insecurities and they come in and I put them on my team, that people on my team that feel like they can do what they do better than them, they get offended as if somebody's about to take their place. It is not because they can do the job better than you. The problem is you got an inner issue. So you feel like somebody is threatening your position, but when you are secure in who you are, and you are secure in what you have, it don't matter who come around. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Now listen, let me say this. I don't care about other men looking at my wife.
Come on now.
Don't bother me. Matter of fact, can I tell y'all a secret?
Come with it, Pastor.
Tell y'all a secret. Don't tell nobody I told you.
Come on with it.
There are sometimes when I see a bunch of guys walking out of a store, I step back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let her walk ahead.
Yeah.
This is what I like to see.
Yeah.
Because what it says is you can look, but you can't touch. I'm not worried about who looks.
That's what I'm talking about,
Because
Pastor.
when you are secure in who you are,
Amen, Pastor. Come
and
on,
when you are
Pastor.
secure in what you have,
Alright.
and watch this, and you are secure in the connections of the people you connected to, I'm not worried church. You got a church home. I have people who tell me, Pastor, I'm going to visit my friend's church. I say, cool, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Ain't a shot on my ego.
Yeah.
Here's why. You ain't held hostage in resurrection. This ain't no Nazi dictatorship. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Because when you are secure in who you are.
Come on, Pastor.
Touch somebody, tell them I ain't scared.
I ain't scared.
So they were jealous. They were jealous. Now. Some people, I'm gonna shout right here. Damn, we're out of time. I'm gonna shout right here. Me and Rick gonna shout right here when I say this. Some people are jealous of you because of what they see you with, but they don't even understand that you yourself are struggling to maintain what you have. You're jealous because of a car. You don't even know I'm struggling to pay this note. You're struggling to buy clothes. I got this suit from Suit You. You're struggling. Y'all don't like me. It's not. I make this suit. It's on a sexy body, so it looks sick. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. When you know who you are.
Come on, Pastor.
When next time people tell you you are arrogant, tell them you are just not confident. You ain't arrogant. The person who said you arrogant is just not confident. But if you had my swag, yeah, you walk around with your head on high too. Touch somebody, tell them I know who I am. Jealousy can compel someone to obsessively monitor other people's communication and other people's relationships, other people's whereabouts, attempt to lower their self-confidence or behave violently. In this case in the text, these astrologers were paying attention to what the Hebrew boys were doing. They were spectating. They were trying to find something on them. And you got to be careful, brothers and sisters, because most times when people are watching you, it's because they are looking for your weakness so it can feed their jealousy. And that's why people are watching you, trying to see what you do and don't do. That's why it gets on my nerves when people always call me and say, I seen such and such, and we was in church, and they looked at this person like this, and they were cockeyed and cross-eyed, and I saw what they gave, and they didn't give enough. And I'm trying to figure out how in the ham and cheese did you know what they did, how they looked, what they gave. It's because you didn't come to church for a word. You came to spectate so that he could feed your dysfunctions. I don't understand how God can be as good as he is to some of y'all. And you sit in services like this looking around like you depressed. You better shake yourself and let the devil know I didn't come into a sacred space to still operate in my flesh. I came for a change.
Come on, Pastor.
All right, here's point number 2. I'm out of time. I'm going over. Who cares? I'll be done in 5 minutes. Here's point number 2. Your standards for God are non-negotiable. I need y'all to help me right there. Scream, they are not up for debate. Notice the Hebrew boys had to resolve to stand for God. These 3 young men faced the ultimate test of their faith. They either had to obey the Lord or disobey the king. They made their decision as a matter of life or death. Now it was easy for the other officials of Babylon to declare their loyalty to the state, for the crowd believed in many gods. The image represents the state of Babylon. It was merely another god to be added to the gods that they already worshipped. They believed in the Lord. The Hebrew boys believed in the Lord. They believed that he was the only true and living God, and they knew him personally. And when they really knew God, and when you really know God, and what God has done for you, then you're not going to be moved by the dangers that you see. You're going to stand for God no matter what. I need about 20 of y'all to help me preach. Touch somebody, tell them I stand for God no matter what. enemies, they said, hey king, I know you're a little salty because we won't do what everybody else is doing. And so watch what the king says. I'm going to give you one more opportunity. Can I use my sanctified imagination and still stay contextual? Because I believe the Hebrew boys cut the king off and said, bruh, I know you're a little man, and I know what you're going to say, but listen, we ain't even got to have a conversation about this, because here's what we know. We know our God is able, and even if he don't do it, it's not because he can't do it, which means no matter what, I'm standing for God. I need you to shake somebody's hand, shake it like you're going to shake it off, and tell them you got some people that's going to get mad, but tell them stand for God anyway. I need an anyway shout. Somebody shout, I'm standing for God anyway. People get mad, but I'm standing for God. People start tripping, but I'm standing for God. And so they declared that I will not bow. And notice what the text says. They said, in other words, our faith in God is not up for debate. We are settled and resolved. And when your faith is settled and resolved, you can stand and look at any enemy and say, I shall not be moved. All right, 20 member church, don't die on me. I got 5 more minutes. I'm going to go home. Touch somebody and tell them I'm resolved. I'm standing with God. Y'all not helping me preach. I said I'm resolved. I'm standing with God. I'm standing with the ship. Wait a minute. I got one more shout before I move on. The reason why I'm standing for God, Trisha, is because I've seen him work on my behalf before. But everybody that's got a testimony, you can testify. I've seen God work for me. I've seen him turn over situations. I've seen him change circumstances in my life. And I came to tell the devil, I refuse to give up on God. I need you to touch somebody. I'm going home right now. I need you to touch somebody and tell them my mind is made up. Grab somebody and tell them my mind is already made up. My heart is fixed. Do what you want to do, but I'm a hold on to God's unchanging hand. I wish I had granddaddy here. If I hold to God's unchanging hand, we're not looking at other people praise. Church. If I hold to God's unchanging hand, God will come through. If you can believe it, let me give you point number 3. Your victory will change your enemy. Y'all didn't hear me. I said your victory will change your enemy. There's perspective about God. Let me unpack the text. The Bible says, Nebuchadnezzar drove the Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace, and the fiery furnace is 7 times hotter than it normally is. The king was so mad that the fire killed his own soldiers, but he was so angry that he threw them in, and it didn't matter who died. But the Bible says that when he put them in, they were bound hand and feet. But the Bible says that Nebuchadnezzar was looking at the blades in the fiery furnace, and all of a sudden Nebuchadnezzar ushers at? I said, I wish I had somebody that could help me testify. God's getting ready to send me some help. The Bible said, Nebuchadnezzar told his officials, I'm looking in the furnace, but I don't see just three. I see one more man, and it looks like the Son of God. I need y'all to help me. Look at one more neighbor and tell your neighbor, God is about to use my struggle to give my enemy a lesson in deliverance. That you saw me one way, but God's getting ready to change your perception. You saw me bound, you saw me beat, you saw me defeated, but what you didn't know, I'm gonna come back here. I got a testimony. My testimony is, look where he brought me from. Y'all better let me preach. Take the brakes off a minute. Let me have my kind of church. Grab your neighbor, shake them like a salt shaker, and tell them, neighbor, what you see on me is not the same way I'm gonna be by January 1. God's about to change everything about me because God, yes, God, I said God is about to send some help. The angel of the Lord, it was a manifestation of Jesus Christ in the Old Testament, came in the furnace, loosed their shackles. I got one more shot. They are still walking in the fire, not looking for an exit. In the fire, walking around in the fire, but I'm not looking for an exit. When God gets in, I can stay in the fire and not be burned. Let me close. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. The Bible says, Nebuchadnezzar screams at the boys, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come here. Come out of there. I know that the God you serve, he's the real deal. Y'all help me get a word to everybody here. Resurrection this morning. Touch 3 people and tell them our God is the real deal. I wish I had help. I said our God. I'm closing the book. I said our God is the real deal. Better than crack. Better than drugs. Better than drinking. Better than sex. Our God is the real deal. Who wouldn't serve a God like this? Who made the heavens and the earth? Who wouldn't serve a God like mine that can pick you up, turn you around? Who wouldn't serve a God like this that can pull you out of what you need? Lean, lean on your neighbor and say, neighbor, I serve a God that can pull me out of anything. Y'all not helping me. I said, tell somebody, I serve a God that can pull me out of anything. Go on and testify. I was in sin, but he pulled me out. I was lost, but he pulled me out. I was addicted, but he pulled me out. I was weeping, but he pulled me out. I got a word for somebody here. God specializes in things that you thought were impossible. And impossible. He specializes in making the devil look like a liar. No weapon. Yes. No weapon. Yes. No weapon. Get out of here. God bless y'all real good. I see you Tuesday night. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent one from another. This I pray in Jesus' name. But before I leave, I need y'all to help me just one more time. Grab somebody that you haven't grabbed yet. Look them in the face and tell them, neighbor, after this, your enemies are going to change their mind about your God. Tell them after this, what you're going through, your enemies watch you struggle. Your enemies watch you go through. And now they got to watch me live. I said, tell your enemies, you watch me suffer. You watch me go through. Now, watch me live. Keep eyes on me. I'm getting ready to get rich. I'm getting ready to come over. I'm getting ready to put my hand on a new business. I'm getting ready to see my children get saved, get promoted. Is there anybody that can shout, I gotta feel everything is going to be all right. Let me get out of here. I'm gonna run to somebody and tell them I got a word for you. I said run to somebody and tell them I got a word